Well, hello to all my Zeta starved friends out there in Swuggaland. Earlier today, CG did release three brand new packs for Zetas in the store. One of those packs is for crystals, so the free to play community can jump on that. The other two are cash only at $20 and $40 respectively. But quite honestly, these are some of the best Zeta packs that I have seen in game. I don't personally need them. I do have every Zeta in the game, but as I do roster reviews every Sunday, I see people just really digging themselves into that Zeta ditch. And this is the answer to your prayers. And we're going to talk about that right after the intro. Okay, so as I said, we have three new Zeta packs in the game: the Zeta Surge pack, the Zeta Supply Bundle, and the Zeta Command Bundle. These, as far as I know, have not been seen before and were brand new data mined in the last patch. We'll quickly go over those and then I will show you the valuations. That Zeta Surge pack at 6,000 crystals has a 40% chance to get 30 Zeta materials, 5% chance to get 100 Zeta materials. There is an EV on this pack, so an expected value of 44 materials. Essentially, you have a 40% chance to get the bare minimum, but a 60% chance to get something better than that. So honestly, it's not the worst gamble in the world. And we're looking at a cost basis of roughly $1.20 from the base, from the 30 Zeta materials. And when it comes to Zetas, we typically say that anywhere around $1 to $1.25 is essentially the sweet spot on where it is okay to buy them, right? So for $1.20, it's at the higher end of what is expected, but you could get really lucky. And even if you hit that 60% chance of not getting the base, it is not bad. Both of the other packs do not have gamble mechanics attached to them. So the $20 pack gives you 40 Zeta materials for $20. That's the rough equivalent of about 50 cents per Zeta. And that is like a fire sale. That is insane. I have never seen something like that in this game for Zeta materials. Actually, to be quite honest, it has me worried that we might be seeing a new level of material soon with how crazy CG has been with these Zeta bundles lately. And that last one is the Zeta Command Bundle, which is pretty similar to the one previous. 85 Zetas for $40. So you get a slight discount in price. I believe it's 47 cents per Zeta, and that's just off of the top of my head. If you are somebody who buys tons of Lightspeed bundles, and if you have a spreadsheet with 50 to 100 Zetas on it that you wish you could apply, and you happen to have like, what is this, 40, 80, 100, $120, I'm not going to say to spend it here, but I am going to say that if it's not going to hurt your wallet, it's not the worst way to spend that money. I get it. You can buy full ass games for $20. I understand that. Not even yesterday, I bought a new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle roguelike game for $3 on the Switch store. So I certainly understand the value of your dollar, but I am not here to judge. Let's look at the actual valuations though. So we're going to pop this in, head over to my value charts. And at our base value, when we look at Zetas, we're looking at the 228 crystals per Zeta. This is about $1.50 per Zeta. I'm going to move this down to, let's see, $1.25. So just so we get an idea, $1.25 times 165. So let's say 206 crystals per Zeta. Make sure I have custom values on. Perfect. Let's start with that $20 pack, the Zeta Supply Bundle, right? So right here, we are seeing that Zeta Supply Bundle, quantity 40, store value of 206. So that's a store value of $1.25 per Zeta. we see the crystal value is 8,240. Converted value is 49 or really $50 and a value increase of 150%. That's honestly insane. We do not see packs with valuations that high for this cheap. We see that on the duality packs that are $100 and you have to buy the BOGO for 50% off. We do not see that on $20 packs at all. This is a fire sale. It has me scared, right? Moving on to the $40 pack, the Zeta Command Bundle. This is that $40. Oh, this needs to be F141. There. Let's move that over. 206. Zeta Command Bundle. Quantity 85. Store value 206. Crystal value 17,510. For $40, you're getting about $106 in value at a value increase of 165%, right? This is a huge deal. Now, just to kind of give you guys an idea here, let's say at $1 per Zeta, which is 165 crystals per dollar. Looking at that $20 pack again, the Zeta Supply Bundle, we are seeing it drops, but still a 100% value increase there. And then going back to that $40 bundle, we are seeing still 112% value increase. That is really, really nice. We're going to keep that dollar per Zeta valuation intact when we check out the free to play pack, just so that we can understand that value. That's the Zeta Surge pack right here. And again, we are keeping this at $1 per Zeta, which is relatively low. And in that case, you do lose about 18% in value if you hit the bare minimum. Not the biggest deal. I'll show you the store value in just a minute. This should say 30%. If you hit the 40 or above, you are getting at a minimum a 10% increase, right? We'll zoom in just a little bit so you guys can see this a little bit better. At the 15% hit, you are getting a 37% increase. At the 10% hit, you're getting a 106% increase. And at that jackpot at 5%, you're getting a 175% increase. The expected value is 7,260 crystals for 44 Zeta materials, and you are getting a value increase of 21%. Now, that does not seem that great, but again, we are looking at this from the basis of $1 per Zeta. If we go on back to our material value sheet, we bring this back up to that $1.25, which is still somewhere where players typically are okay being at the top end of value. That 40%, you still see a small 3% increase, and that EV hits 51%. Not bad when we are talking about crystal packs. Now, I'm noticing here that this shows dollar values. I promise these are correct. I just forgot to change this from currency over to just plain numbers, right? Same thing right there, just crystals instead of dollars. When we look at this from the actual legitimate store value, so we're going to switch over to store value, we're seeing a 15% roughly valuation increase on that bottom tier pack, and the EV of 60%, 67%. So basically, what it comes down to is if you are a free to play player who is struggling for Zetas, it's not an amazing value, but it is a fairly high value when we talk about the accepted costs that players are willing to pay. Typically, the store value is 228 crystals per Zeta. We go down to 206 if we are looking at $1.25 per Zeta. We go down to 165 crystals if we are talking about $1 per Zeta. This is honestly something that I wouldn't not recommend. The one thing that I would be cognizant of, though, is that when you are in the mid game and you are struggling for Zetas, it also means you are probably struggling for Omegas. And if you overextend yourself on Zetas, you may find that they are just sitting on your account. So before you purchase that Zeta Surge pack, just make sure you have enough Omegas to cover. Now, when we talk about those dollar value packs, that Zeta Supply Bundle and the Zeta Command Bundle, for me, if I were in the position of one, having spare cash, and two, needing Zetas, these are bundles that I would hands down buy, especially my new age whales who are growing their accounts at the speed of light and just cannot stay on top of the Zetas in the game. These are hard buy packs. I will reiterate, though, that I am a little bit nervous about CG here, and I am wondering if they are going to rug pull us in the near future with some sort of Sigma pack or Sigma ability material, and Zetas are devalued. I have no idea. I have no insider knowledge. I'm just wondering why these are being sold at such a reduced rate. With all of that said, I hope that you found this helpful. Please, if you did, hit the subscribe button. It does help me out. It does tell me that what I'm doing is worth it to the community. And as always, peace out and have a great rest of your night.